Hey team, my name is Dom from New Zealand Powerlifting Academy.
And my name is Karlina, the current IPF world record holder in the under 76 kilo class. Today we're going to go over my 600 kilo total performance in the Commonwealth Powerlifting Champs for 2022.
Heading into the comp, we had a couple of goals in mind for Karlina. At the top of that list was definitely to be the first 76 in history to hit that 600 total and break the world record by 15 kilos. So, you weigh in at 75.25, no surprises there. Easy refeed from a gut cut and onto warm ups. Give us an insight to your state of mind and emotions from weighing in, warm ups, all the way up to walking into your first attempt.
As soon as I can, I'm trying to find this calm place in my mind. I find that when I'm competing, I'm best when I'm still and when I'm mindful, so that whatever comes my way, be it good, be it bad, because anything can happen, I'm able to accept it and see it and move on. Because at the end of the day, the goal was 600 and it takes 9 attempts to get there. And that crowd, as soon as I heard it, right before my opening squat, it was electric, and so electric. I've spent all day trying to keep calm and keep my arousal levels low, and so when you hear that crowd, you just let that energy go, and the heart rate rises, and I'm embracing it all. And I'm listening to my music and nodding my head and affirming myself that it's time to show everyone what I've been working for.
Good.
After that opener at 210 kilos, I felt insanely good. I felt like whatever my top end was, it was going to move. I was excited and I was ready to stand up with whatever Dom put on my back. Really, I was feeling very confident.
So, to hit 600, we knew that you would not only have to break the squat world record, but to break it by a decent margin. 220 plus, basically. You absolutely smoked 210. I jumped you to 219, which was a squat world record at the time, and also saves us another decent jump for the third attempt.
And knowing that that's a world record, feeling extremely hyped, but in this calm sort of way. And when it moved, I knew there was that little sticking point, but after that, it was pretty good. So I was just feeling excited to push that world record even more.
Settle it, settle it, settle it. Good. Tight. There it is, there it is.
When the bar gets heavier on Carlina's back, it digs down deeper, or she might also be getting squashed a bit, or both. And since her rack height is typically just right when she's doing them right before the start of the comp, she actually clips them on the walkout here. Here I'm yelling, settle it on the walkout. I don't even know if she can hear me. All I know is there's a little bit of a wobble on the walkout, and I just wanted to see how it affected the actual attempt.
Yeah, you're right. That rack height did come down with the heavier weight, and the bar was getting stuck on my walkout. But actually, the last few weeks to month of training, I'd really been focusing on a slow and controlled walkout, and it was really because one session I was squatting, I don't know, 220, and I was very rushed on the walkout, and it made for a choppy squat. But right after, when I slowed the walkout and controlled it more, it just made the squat move much better. And so I made a real point to train that way. And thank goodness I did, because that bar getting stuck on the rack, it didn't ruffle me. I knew to just slow down and control my walkout, and it helped that I heard you say settle, settle. So I was able to overcome that, which I don't think or know would have happened in other comps, because that's quite a new thing that I've been practicing. You know, getting ready for this 223 squat, it was about the world record for sure, but also it was about some redemption for me and getting revenge on the 220 squat that I had missed at Nationals, because I had felt so strongly that I should never have missed that. I have had the strength since then. So it was, yeah, a bit of revenge on myself for me with the squat. And that crowd, again, just hearing them roar was absolutely electric, and adrenaline was rushing. And then it moves, and it moves pretty well for a third attempt, and I'm feeling really good about that. I'm over the moon with having achieved that.
223 was a gym PB and a high percentage lift, and it moved like a high percentage lift too. So that was pretty good. World record secured. Typically, our objective right after the squats, especially after a big one like this, is to reset a bit, since the adrenaline and emotions are running pretty high. How are you emotionally at this moment? What were your thoughts? I know some people are congratulating you.
The job is nowhere near done. We're not even halfway. When I talk about being in this stillness, yes, that thing was really good that happened, but we're not done. Bring down those arousal levels, calm myself. I have a new job, which is benching. It's really just about moving on. I've got 6 more attempts to go.
I was coaching Langi from the 69 class, the flight before Karlina's. Typically, I like to pay attention to what kind of calls the referees were giving at that particular sessions, so we can see what kind of calls we were gonna get to for the second flight. All the press calls we were getting were extra long. To be fair to the referee, it was consistent throughout the session, but you really do hate to see it in competitions, since no one gets to see the top end strength of the athletes, and the athletes don't feel like they get to demonstrate what's reflective of their training efforts. Regardless, those were the calls we were getting at that time. I told her we might have to drop her opener for bench, which is not great for our plan, but there were no other real good options.
Initially, I was worried about dropping the opener, because I didn't know where that was going to put me for getting to the 600 and how much harder my job would have to be. Ultimately, I have full trust in Dom's game day decisions. When I saw it drop down to 117, I was like, oh, that's quite a drop from 122. But hey, it turned out the best. I really needed that drop, and it worked out well for us in the end. Again, it's just about trusting Dom's game day decisions. We've worked together for 5 years, and so I am able to have that full trust that he's still got our 600 goal in mind and is still going to set me up for it. For me, it was just about trying to stay present, to attack each attempt like it was my last.
Karlina. Press.
So I thought 117 and a half would be a safe opener, then jump to the planned opener of 122. This just means that we were always going to be one attempt behind on the bench, which is fine. We can also take this jump because it's a Commonwealth record, which is kind of nice when you're hitting records. You can make whatever jump you want, really, instead of the typical 2.5 kilo jumps.
Start. Press.
You can see here she's also dealing with some minor cramps, foot cramp and lower back cramps. Nothing a simple stretch or assisted stretch can't help manage.
Missing that 126 was very annoying to me because it is a weight that I am used to benching in the gym for a single and a pause single. But most of all, there was some fear about how much did I lose by missing that 126 when trying to reach our 600 kilo goal. Dom had come up to me and said to me that, look, we're still in it, but it's going to be extremely hard. I didn't know where we were at subtotal wise. Usually I don't care to know, I don't want to know, but this time I found out. I did the numbers, saw that I had to deadlift 255, nothing less, to get that 600 kilo goal. But I felt confident, a mixture of full confidence that I was going to deadlift that, excitement that we're about to make some world history, belief in myself for doing it, but also some fear. A little bit of fear is always good to help you move that bar, I think.
Very, very goal orientated in our approach to competition. Despite the powerlifting community's current emphasis on being process orientated, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a person who is predisposed to being goal orientated as well.
Ultimately, I think I am very goal oriented. I've had this 600 kilo goal in our minds and for months, and for this whole day the main goal was 600, and I'm okay with that. I am at peace with that. I think it's quite a luxury or a privilege to be so goal oriented. The process is kind of a means to an end for me.
Start. Press.
You got time. Settle.
Start. Press.
Also, to make a statement about Karlina being the best 76 kilo lifter in the world, we wanted to open at the world record total.
I can look back on it now and say that it was a pretty bloody cool statement to make, to break the world record on your first deadlift. But again, we're just talking about goals. It really was just the means to an end for me. If you could make this a drinking game, how many times did they say 600?
600 was so important to us, not just because we get to capture a piece of history, Karlina being the lightest lifter to hit that 600 total raw in IPF history, but also because a handful of Karlina's competitors is so close to that 600, it becomes a way for us to show our competitive respect to them. The way we show our respect for them is not through words of admiration or adoration. We show our respect through our actions. We expect them to train hard, improve, and reach new horizons. This is why it's important for Karlina to do the same and better. We demand excellence in ourselves because we expect excellence from our competitors.
Come on, Karlina. This is yours. All left in the pile. Bring it home.
As soon as I had it in the bag, I think Dom just, he said, let's hit this, and then we're free to just let loose. And so as soon as I hit it, I moved on and I was ready to just send it. And now things are ramping up for me. You see, I look at my hands because I'm looking at them and talking to them and saying, you got this, you can hold on to this. I didn't know what the second attempt was because it was just in the way of my 600. It was just in the way. My affirmation started long before I got to my deadlift. There's gold in my hair. I have gold on my finger that I put up as #1. And I'm just constantly telling myself that this is mine. This is everything I've worked for. You show the world what you're made of. My biggest enemy is me, but even I can't stop me. I know what I'm about to do. When you enter this stillness in competition, it's so hard for me to come out of it. Deep breath that I always do before I hit my deadlifts, but it's the most important one. I just realize what's about to happen and I just give it my all. I can hear my family, I can hear the crowd, and I shake my head in some kind of what felt like defiance at the time. This is me and this is what I can do. Now looking back at it, I think it was of victory, not of defiance. It was, I'm victorious today. Something that I will cherish for the rest of my life, and I'm so grateful that we have footage of it, is my 2 nanas here coming up to totally me, support me, give me some Tongan flowers, there's some leis, and also our family korowai, which is the Māori sort of cape with the feathers there. To have them too there was extremely special moment for me that I'll forever be grateful to have had.
Your squat medal winner.